I'm in Michigan and I have never been to this state before, and what a beautiful place. The reason I'm here is I've been working on a project with Jeep for the last 4 months to come out here and get exclusive access to the production plant where they build the Jeep Wrangler. Plus, I'm going to go to some hidden warehouse where they have all the concepts from years past. I'm super excited this has all come together, but they said, hey, while you're in town, would you like to drive a 2024 Jeep Wrangler? And I said, heck yeah, I would. There have been so many great updates to the new edition of the Jeep Wrangler, and today what I thought I would do is, since I have a little bit of downtime, is walk around. I'm not gonna do a full review of the Jeep Wrangler. I just want to talk about some of the very cool updates that they've done, and one of them I think is the biggest update, and you can't even see it. Let's go check it out. Now, the Jeep community is passionate about maintaining as much of the heritage of the Jeep Wrangler as possible. And anytime there's a change to the grille, people seem to get a little unsettled and up in arms. And I'll tell you that I actually really love the JL's grille. And they've made some changes to the 2024 model a little bit here, really to kind of accommodate the height of the winch, because they wanted to make sure that there was no blockage of any of the airflow. And so what they did is they actually made the grille a little bit shorter, and in doing that, they had to open up some of the areas in between the 7 slots. So you still have your 7 slots, there's just now more access for air to flow through there. If I'm being honest, I'm probably a little partial to the outgoing model, but the more I see this, the more it's growing on me, and I really like it. But I would love to hear down below, what do you think about the new facelift on the 2024 model? Now, I mentioned the winch, and that's it, guys. Right now, you can buy a Jeep with a factory-worn 8,000-pound winch. That is a long time coming, and I'm so glad they finally did it. You have to get the steel bumper package, but then you get this really nice packaged winch, which is warranted from the factory. It's got synthetic line and a nice fair lead. It just looks very clean. It's an expensive option, but look, if you're gonna go buy an aftermarket bumper and winch plate and winch, you're gonna spend more than you are to option this out. And this, again, straight from the factory, is good to go. Now, is 8,000 pounds enough? I think it is. Now, if you're gonna go pull some bus out of a pond, well, you might be struggling, but to get yourself out of a sticky situation, 8,000 pounds, no problem, all day long. All right, let's go check out some of the other upgrades. Now, before I talk about the next upgrade, I want to invite you guys to go check us out over at TrailRecon.com. We've got all kinds of gear over there to outfit your vehicle and your camping needs when you are on your off-grid adventures. Always some great products over there. Go check us out, TrailRecon.com. Okay, if you'll notice here, there's no more plastic antenna. There is now a trail badge there, and that is because they have integrated that antenna into the windshield. And I think that's great because I don't know, it wasn't aesthetically pleasing, and plus, you know, that thing gets banged up when you're out on the trails and there's hitting it with trees. My only concern is, look, Jeep windshields, they're a little flat, and so they do get chipped pretty easily. So now replacing your window might be a little bit more expensive, but this is the Gorilla Glass, so it should hold up pretty well. And I think it's just a much cleaner look. So I'm glad they did that. Now, I mentioned that one of the biggest upgrades, in my opinion, is one you can't even see, and that is the rear axle is now a full float axle. So there's still the Dana 44 back here, but instead of a semi-float, you have a full float axle, and that makes this so much stronger. Let me just kind of briefly explain why that's such a big deal. So in a semi-float axle, you have a hub where your wheel attaches to, and then it's attached to the axle shaft, and that all gets inserted. With a full float axle, the wheel mounts to a hub that is attached to the axle wall, basically, and the axle shaft is a tube by itself that just goes straight through. So it's not supporting the weight of the vehicle. It's just responsible for delivering the torque from the gears. It makes for a really strong package, and if you are an off-roader, you know, oftentimes folks will order aftermarket axles and they are looking for a full float axle. Well, now you can get that direct from the factory from Jeep, and that is pretty cool. It's not something you see, but I'll tell you what, that's a massive upgrade. The other thing that I noticed on their website is now for the Jeep Rubicon, not the 392 and not the 4xe, is you have 5,000 pounds towing capacity. It's still 3,500 pounds for the 392 and the 4xe, but I think that new increased 5,000 pound towing capacity has a lot to do with this full float axle. And if you are an overlander and you like to put a lot of gear on there and you're going to weigh this down, it's nice to know that now you have some more strength back here. I'm telling you guys, this is a big upgrade, and I don't think people are jumping up and down about this enough. I'm really happy with this. The other thing I noticed, I was surfing around on the Jeep website and building out a Jeep, is you can get 488 gears now directly from the factory. Now, again, not for the 392 or the 4xe, but you can get a Rubicon with Extreme Recon package and you can get 488 gears. That's pretty cool. The other little thing I like is now there's a Jeep Willys on the wheel instead of the word Jeep. I really like that. It's pretty cool. All right, hopping into the inside of the Jeep Wrangler, there's been a lot of really nice refinements in here, starting with making it a little quieter, a little more pleasant when you're driving down the road. I mean, look, the Jeep Wrangler is not a Cadillac. It's got some rawness to it, which we all love, but making it a little more pleasant to drive and have a conversation is always a bonus. And actually, I took a Bluetooth phone call on my way here. It was much easier to have that conversation. So all the stuff that they've done in here has made it much better. Also, you will notice there are some red leather seats. That is the only seat option you can get with the 392. And for me, my original Jeep Wrangler JK is silver with red seats, so this is the perfect combination for me. I think that's pretty cool. Now, jumping over to the thing that everybody is talking about, and that is this 12.3 inch LCD display. This thing, I love this thing. Now, they have designed this obviously to make sure that it's weatherproof. So if you have the top off, you're getting it dusty in here, you get some rain, whatever, it's going to hold up to the elements. Plus, it's got a very bright backlight to it. So if you do have the top off, you can still see the screen. And so I was just playing around with this today while I was goofing around, and I'll tell you, it's very responsive. I really like the screen. They've done a great job. But one of the things I was noticing is on the home screen, you swipe over, you've got some interesting options here. You've got these adventure guides, which you click into that, and now it gives you some information about trails near you, preloaded trails, and downloaded trails. So I'm not sure, I haven't messed around with this, but this looks like it's very intriguing for us off-road enthusiasts. That could be pretty cool. Plus now there's the GPS trail logs, and so you can go in here and you can start recording, you can save your tracks. That's all nice stuff. I really like that they keep refining the off-road pages and adding those little elements to it. I think that's pretty cool. Also, it has wireless Apple CarPlay. Finally, we can connect our phone wirelessly to the Jeep Wrangler, which is really nice. And I was able to do that on the way out here. Super easy. It's very responsive. It works perfectly. I mean, I'm not trading in my Jeep anytime soon, but man, I wish I could pull this out and just add this little upgrade here by itself, along with the full float axle. That would be nice. But this is cool. Now, with this bigger screen, you no longer get the round vents here on the front. You have these thinner vents, and look, it's pretty warm out here in Michigan right now, and so I had the AC blowing. They work great, no problems there. It's just, you know, aesthetically, you don't have that kind of raw, round ones we kind of come accustomed to over the last few years. The other thing that's really nice is now you kind of have this leather stitched dash on here. It's really cool. I like the red dash, but this has more of that refined look, and I really like this. I think it looks a lot nicer in here. Now, there is something going on with the dash. You don't have the same pocket you had before, and I'm not sure what they did up here. Actually, maybe I have to ask that later on. But, you know, if you like to mount a mounting system for your phone or your iPad or something up here, they're probably going to have to, aftermarket's going to have to come out with something different, because this is definitely a different design. So that's very interesting. Also, another thing I noticed is the front seat back no longer has that MOLLE panel there. For me, that's a little disappointing, because I actually do mount like a flashlight and a knife and some stuff back there. So it was nice kind of having that, but it's still functional and it's a very clean look. The other thing I didn't mention about the seats is you can now get power seats with these. And look, my wife and I battle back and forth with our seats. And so being able to just do a quick little adjustment with an electric seat is very nice. And plus, Jeep has done what they do. They've made sure that that can handle the elements. So if you were going through a deep water crossing, it's getting dusty in here, that electric seat is going to hold up no problem. So Lot of nice refinements in this Jeep Wrangler. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm not trading mine in soon, but this is pretty cool. One more thing I almost forgot on the interior, and that is they have improved safety. So up on the roll bar, there is now side airbags. And I know that that's something that most vehicles have, but the Jeep Wrangler hasn't had that in the past. And there's just a little extra hump right over the roll bar. You could barely notice it, but if you look close, you can see, okay, yeah, now there's a little extra airbag safety feature there, and I'm glad they did that. That's nice to have. Okay, so with all those new upgrades, is there anything that I wish they would have done? Well, yes. I've been jumping up and down about this for years, and I wish they would upgrade the window switches so they are auto up and auto down. You know, anytime it's a beautiful day like this, I am dropping all 4 windows, and when I'm getting home, I'm pulling all 4 of them up. And if you've ever done it, you got to get your 4 fingers in there and try to do it all at once. Sometimes it's a little clumsy. It would be nice if I could just push one button and they all drop down. It's a window. We want that air open experience. So I love everything they've done. That's my only recommendation, is maybe in the future, hopefully they'll do something like that. What do you guys think? What do you think the Jeep still needs to add in a future model? I guarantee that we can get them to read some of the comments below. So let me know what you guys think. What would you like to see in a future edition of the Jeep Wrangler? I hope you've enjoyed checking this out. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because you don't want to miss the next couple videos when we're out in Michigan checking out some more stuff. Actually, I guess we're going to Ohio. That's where they build stuff, Toledo, Ohio. That's where I'm going to be tomorrow. I can't wait, guys. We'll see you in the next video.